From demo to drop. Welcome to Dope or Nope, the biggest weekly demo drop on the planet. Every Thursday, we bring you never-before-heard demos dropped off by new and accomplished artists and producers. Then, we offer our feedback to help songs reach their full potential. It's time for Dope or Nope.
Holy cow, did another week go by?
That it did.
What happened? I feel like we were just doing this the other day, and man, last week we had so many technical difficulties. It was so rough.
Well, I'm back, so you're not going to have any today.
Right.
Just by osmosis.
Right. Okay, I'll go with that, though. I'm happy with that. Welcome back, everyone. This is Dope or Nope, and we are live every Thursday, 3 p.m.-ish. We have the best demo drops you've ever heard. Joining us today, of course, John McDaniel, our radio programmer for the last many years that I won't mention the number, but former programmer at C89.5, Nick Dietrich, of course, one half of the Disco Fries, and the studio maven that he is, and our special guest, Olivia. How are you today?
I'm great, Hess. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Really good. Thanks for joining us.
That's great. And your podcast is called Elevated Frequencies. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, fun fact, Disco Fries were my first guests. So this is a full circle moment. Yes, they were.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
I love that sound effect. I need to add those sound effects to the podcast. That would be fun. They were.
We have a lot of those, actually.
Yeah, they're great. They were my first guests, and actually I experienced so many technical difficulties on that first episode. Like, I was trying to use this one platform, but it wasn't working, so we had to switch to Zoom, and I was sweaty and like nervous, and it was chaotic.
How long ago was that?
That was June of 2023.
Okay.
So not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
I mean, as you know, when you have a weekly show, it feels like forever ago because you're just churning out so much content.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, but no, it's great that we stayed connected, and the show has grown, and I've stuck with it. And kudos to you guys for, I know you've been doing Dope or Nope for a really long time. It's not easy to do this on a weekly basis.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if Nick told you, but like, we started when Clubhouse started. Pretty much, it was Austin Kramer, Nick, who else? Lauren. Like, it was really interesting because now we just use like loopback and we have all this stuff. It's like done where you're rolling most of the time. Sometimes updates don't let things be compatible, but I had a 4-track board plugged into like these wires, like looping around into an iPhone. And then, I mean,
and I love the way when you describe it, it sounds like it was like 30 years ago.
But this was 5 years ago. It was just 5 years ago. But you know what? We were just trying to cram all that stuff into an iPhone, and I think that was part of the problem we were having. But we did it, and we actually even had it in the Clubhouse format where we would bring the person up and ask them to describe their demo, and then occasionally have to hack them off a little bit and go sit down. But so it was like a whole different thing than what we're doing now. But I never felt like we got like horrible demos. It's like super weird. Is it me, right?
And Olivia could probably attest to this too. Like, for all the chatter there is out there about like, yo, music's on the decline, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all bogus. And like, I've heard more dope music now than I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. There's just an abundance of it out there. And I think it's about who you attract too, right? Like, to be part of this program, someone has to be willing to get feedback in a public setting, a semi-public setting, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to attract a higher caliber, at least, of music, you would think. I do consulting, artist consulting. And when I do Instagram profile reviews, I used to run them through my Patreon. I'd say, hey, you have to be willing for everybody to hear this feedback, because that's how we all grow together. And everybody was down to do it. And it was a super fun thing I did for a while.
That's kind of awesome. And do I have this right? You were a co-founder of Chicago Music Nexus?
Yeah. Chicago Music Nexus. It's an event modeled after the greats, ADE, WMC. It's a 1-day conference right now, but we're expanding. We have panels with industry experts, networking. We're doing demo drops this year,
Awesome.
which is super
and
fun.
When is that?
It's on November 22nd here in Chicago. So we did
Super cool.
year 1 was last year. We're in year 2 now. And it's a really good time. We fly in panelists from all over the country, agents,
Right.
artist managers, label reps, all sorts of people.
Nick, I think we should go, but you and I drive, and we hit every famous pizza place between here and there.
That's a great idea.
It sounds
On the
like
drive.
we'll be slightly inflamed when we arrive.
Just slightly.
Slightly inflamed. I don't want to picture that.
I'm all in for it, though.
Yeah.
I give Olivia a lot of credit because she, when I think of people who through COVID and then post-COVID, really took the bull by the horns. You come to mind, obviously, Goshfather, Propa, Party Pupils, Modern Machines, all these guys who we've obviously all run in the same circles for so long. It's like we all kind of just stepped up to the plate and ran. And there were so many other people that, for one reason or another, just either didn't cut it in the industry, weren't patient enough to keep going, or just found something else, sort of fell off. But props to you, to your original point when you first started on the show today, to keep something like this going, or what you do going, it takes a ton of work, which isn't always the most pleasant to put it.
And you gotta show up even when you don't want to, because you make a commitment. So you, by any means necessary. So but that's all. Everyone thinks there's a secret formula to making it in the music industry or any industry. And it's really just being consistent. It's being consistent and not making excuses for yourself.
So I think that's kind of the hard part, is the showing up when you don't want to, where you have literally so much shit going on. You're like, I'm going to explode if I do one more thing today.
Yeah.
But then, when you don't do it, and we've taken breaks, because sometimes it's just okay, there aren't as many demos as we wanted, or everyone's going to ADE, or it's, the summer is really hard because people are really moving around. So
right.
I think that's been a hard kind of go sometimes with that. But yeah, you just do it, or you do it every other week. You just make it work, I think is the point,
Olivia, what I wanted to ask, on the heels of that, over the past 2 or so years since you interviewed us, what have been the biggest things that you've learned that maybe you've passed on, or just internally that you've learned to help yourself grow?
Ooh, it's all about it, to add on to the consistency. It's all about iteration. So I've been in marketing since 2018. I was a journalist and I got into marketing, but I didn't really hit my stride until I was forced to market myself and my show. And if you look back at those early clips that I posted of interviews, they're garbage. They were what I thought were the best clips, but they weren't right for social. They weren't hooking people the right way. They weren't doing all the things that they needed to do. And so just through a lot of studying of what content is doing well within the dance music niche, but also within the podcast niche. Why is that piece of content doing well? What made me stop the scroll? And just learning to iterate, whether it's with marketing or, pitching myself to someone a better way. I look back at old emails I've sent to people who I never got a response from, but then they reach out to me years later. And it's well, I wasn't ready yet. I wasn't at that level. And I'll look back, I'll be well, because my email was too long. I didn't get to the point quick enough. So it's just, and that's a lot of what I talk about with artists. It's just all about iteration, right? You have to really, consistency is one thing. Anyone could just post to post or make a track to make a track, but it's learning about what are people responding to. And it's the qualitative data as much as it is the quantitative. What are the comments saying? What's the, you know what I mean? Just being really tuned in and tapped in to the feedback you're getting and then iterating on it. That's the biggest thing.
Well,
that's such a great point.
Some great advice right there. By the way, everyone, free advice right there. Pay attention. Write that shit down.
It's not always free, by the way.
Yeah.
Nor should it be.
Nor should it be free.
Today it is.
Should it be?
Thank you for jumping on here. So on that note, how about we play a record?
Yeah, so first up is Dynami, and this is called Unity right here on Dope or Nope. those bells ready, bro. Maybe a cow. I'm going to tap it up just for a second. See if you're ready. Alright, I think you get the general idea. That's Dynamic, D-Y-N-A-M-I. Goes by Dynamic Peaks. And that's Unity. Should we have our guest go first?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool,
Ooh,
cool.
Putting me on the spot.
Yeah, come on.
Well, I told you guys before we did this that I have no technical knowledge. I've never turned decks on before. Just kidding. I've done that, but I couldn't use them, and I could not get into a DAW. I wouldn't know my way out of a paperback. That being said,
Makes two of us.
Okay, good. So I'm not alone. The vibes of this are really great. I always trying to think of what scenario I would want to experience a track in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this just kept bringing me back to Groove Cruise 2021 for some reason. And just thinking about like the day parties we had out there on the decks. This is just like, that's the kind of vibe it gives me.
Yeah.
Now, is there piano that I'm hearing in there?
I think so.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the piano in that. Again, you got to take this with a grain of salt because I'm not a producer. I thought it came in a little bit too quickly. I don't know if I'm like explaining what I mean, but like I loved how it sounded. I just thought maybe it could have been brought up in a more like a more faded in. Again, I don't know
it was
what
almost
the
like instead of like pushing it in, it was just like, and we're here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe it could have been pushed in a little softer, but that's the only critical feedback that I have, and it's very minor. But I love it. It brought me back to Groove Cruise 2021, which was.
I'm gonna do a test with you on every record. So on this record, what is the first piece of content you would make? What does the sound like generate in your brain that it should be over top of?
So if you were gonna like promote this track as the artist, like what sort of visuals would you connect it to?
Yeah.
See, that's so. I would love to hear what the artist had in mind, because I think that's so highly personal. You know what I mean? Like what? Do we get that feedback or no? They don't get.
No,
the trend,
we don't
right?
prompt them for that, but maybe we should
Yeah,
add that
not
to
at
our
all. I
form.
mean,
I think
all we ask is, what is it? As upcoming release? Is it a demo? What stage is it in? And that's kind of where we leave it.
Yeah, I would love. I mean, I'm just I'm the kind of person who wants to know the backstory behind everything. So,
Absolutely.
and you said Dynami. They go by Dynami.
Dynami, and that's
Is it
Dynami Pete on Instagram.
Is it cheating to look up their?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Dymni P. You said P is in Peter. Pete.
Yeah,
got it.
Pete. Yeah.
While Olivia's looking that up, I'll jump in on this one. I like the overall vibe. It reminded me. It definitely had once that lead came in, it had like old school Nintendo 64 Wave Racer vibe to it.
Nice.
I felt like initially it was taking me in like a Dead Mousey sort of direction, but the sounds were kind of rounded, and then it went like kind of happy for the other parts of it. I agree with Olivia though. I felt like you brought a lot in at once, and then once it got there, it just sort of stayed. Whereas you have enough going on that you could dial back the intro and build to get there. I also think this would benefit from a vocal. It's super interesting, but I think a vocal would lend itself well on this type of track. Yeah. It's got a lot of melody to it. and you could go male or female on this, and I think the track would win.
Yeah, I think.
By
it was
the way,
just
the
a little
Instagram is private. The Instagram's private. You got to make your Instagram public. Come on. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I get those DMs all the time, like, "Oh, follow," and then and it's like producer, artist, blah blah blah, and it's like private. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. How am I supposed to know?
I mean, okay. What I don't know what to say to you. Make it public. But like, I get a Sunday brunch vibe here, which I like. I think it's too long, and definitely it moved into the sections too quickly. I agree with Olivia there and Nick. And I think it's maybe slightly too happy. Like, I feel like we could.
It's definitely happy.
A little less, and then also, kind of that's like a mix down, right? I think it would be a proper. That's why we're here, right? So
if you think of like Galantis does a really good job of making uplifting, relatively happy records, but they don't feel like they still feel cool. Some of that emphasis is on like the style of vocal you do. Sometimes it's the melody line. If you this is getting like into the weeds, but if you emphasize the third of the major chord that you're sitting on, so like if you're on a C chord, if you're emphasizing the E in the C chord, that's what defines it being major and feeling happy. Instead of that whole chord is C, E, and G. If you emphasize the fifths, you might hit an E here and there, and it's gonna like allude to it, but it's not going to like be like screaming at you, this is a happy record. So I think to the earlier point, like reference Galantis for this type of stuff. Big shout out to Dancing Faraz. I know JB was having internet trouble, but his artist Faraz does a really good job of making uplifting records that sound super cool.
That don't sound at all like, I want it cheesy, I guess is probably the bad word to use, but they don't. Yeah, he does a great job of doing that and staying away from that. Yeah,
so those guys, go pay attention. Use them as references.
Yep. Nice.
It's just like a different language you guys speak. It's so impressive. Nick knows my brother is an artist too, and just like when I hear you guys talk and I'm just a fly on the wall, it's so impressive that it's like a completely different language.
Because you're cool and we're nerds, and that's basically what it distills down to.
Being a nerd is cool now.
I know.
Being a nerd is okay.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Literally. It used to be a nerdy thing, but now everybody wants to be a DJ.
Right. 100%. By the way, who's your brother? So
his name is Proppa, Proppa. Yes, he's great, and like he references Nick, you guys, as like one of his earliest inspirations. I don't know if I told you that.
But I mean, we love his stuff, so we should probably like do something together.
Yeah,
probably.
It sounds like something.
Yeah,
should
that
happen,
would be
man.
awesome.
That sounds pretty
definitely
awesome.
Go follow him, guys, if you're in the chat or watching this after the show. He's super dope.
Shall we do a quick shout out on Instagram?
Yeah.
All right. Xmalti, Edmonsky, Mix 93 FM. What's up, guys? Alex Mirage. Yo, how are you, sir? There's another really good producer too. Really good guy. Oh, and Dynamic Pete has also been on there. So good to have you here, man, and thank you for that demo. Up next is Xmalti, and this is called What You Think.
Have a drink, maybe you should come with me. Just let it be. If you're gonna go your way, baby, I won't make you stay. With my body you can play. Do you want it? I don't care about what you think. If you wanna have a drink, maybe you should come with me. Just let it be. If you're gonna go your way, baby, I won't make you stay. With my body you can play. Do you want it? I don't care about what you think. If you wanna have a drink, maybe you should come with me. Just let it be. If you're gonna go your way, baby, I won't make you stay. With my body you can play. Do you want it? Have a drink, maybe you should come with me. Just let it be. If you're gonna go your way, baby, I won't make you stay. With my body you can play. Do you want it? I don't care about what what you think. If you wanna have a drink, maybe you should come with me. Just let it be. If you're gonna go your way, baby, I won't make you stay. With my body you can play. Do you want me? I don't care about what you think. Maybe you should come with me. If you're gonna go your way, with my body you can play.
Once again, that's Xmulty, Xmulty, and that's called What You Think. Right there on Dope or Nope. Nick,
I'm gonna give that
you
a bell.
have something to say
I
here.
need to find where my bells are at over here.
Where are your bells, man?
Where are my bells?
Do we have any farm animals along with the bells?
I might. There's a bell.
Okay.
There's a cow.
And the
They're
cow.
around
Yes.
here. Yeah.
I'll take one of each, please. I really
All
like
right.
that.
So there you go. I had to dig for them. I don't know where they were hiding. Really like this. The mix is awesome. It's really dialed in.
Super clean.
Spawn said Nick lost his bells. Gonna leave that alone.
Long time ago.
Yeah. The mix is awesome. The drums are super punchy. I did get a hair tied to the vocal. Like, I wish it disappeared a little bit more, which it does in the second half, and then it comes back. I wanted to hear like some sort of basic melody line hit the track earlier, so the vocal went away. It went to like a melodic, not super melodic, but that synth line was cool. It's the only thing I wish I heard earlier, but otherwise,
This thing at the end, right? Like in this last section.
My favorite part.
That guy, right?
yeah, super dope. But like, I know plenty of DJs that are gonna play this for like a minute and a half, and then out, and they're gonna miss that, or they're gonna have to re-edit the record for that to be up front.
100% agree. That's my only comment is that.
Yeah.
That needs to be sooner.
Over to Olivia.
Yeah, I do know what a synth line is, and that was my favorite part of it. Unexpected, but makes so much sense. Like that it was there. You know what I mean? I'm very curious now because I'm not sure how much of like, and I don't know about this specific track, but like, what's the ratio of AI vocals now compared to working with vocalists?
Well, and then there's also like Splice, because a lot of people
right.
Splice and like sample packs are still being used. Then there's AI vocals, and I mean, I see like even in the past month, a lot of even demos coming into the label, a lot of vocals are moving towards AI, but usually those are people that were using Splice.
Got it.
Or vocal
It's like
pack.
the next iteration, though. Yeah.
Right, because it's just more customizable, right?
Totally.
The AI versus Splice.
Yeah, I mean, because you could use your own vocals and then warp them, which I've done. Like, I've done plenty of vocals on our records and then change the sound of them or whatever.
Right. As long as you're good at doing the prompt, you can pretty much create whatever you want.
Right. And the reason I ask is, you know, I've noticed for just the past year or two that there's just a lot of female vocals like this that are, you know, in this realm of like the lyrics, what she's actually saying, and I enjoy it. I just wonder what the next iteration of this is going to be. Like, I think of like, what was the OK Val track? You know, I've got Gucci, I've got Prada. Do you know that one? Yeah, just like kind of in the same realm. And I really enjoy it. But that's why I'm curious, like, is this like something that where they worked with a vocalist? But I guess that's kind of the whole point of this, right? You're not supposed to know. You're supposed to kind of take it at face value. Yeah.
Pretty much, but it is interesting when you get into more of your side of the business when you're trying to market the record. I do think, and I use AI for stuff all the time, but like when you remove a human from the process, there's an element of that you're not going to be able to tap into for the marketing, right? Like if a vocalist did this, you're not going to have that component to either collab with on your post, to engage with if they're dope in videos and they can do really cool shit around their vocal. Like, you do miss that component of it.
Right. And of course, that's where my brain is. That's a perspective that I'm coming from. Make the music first and make it how you like it and you want it to be. But there's always considerations, right? Of like, if you wanted to, unless you have a great peer-to-peer network, that you can get this in the hands of the people that you think will play it, and there'll be content out of that. Like, think about how you can specifically
Right.
market this track. What's the most marketable thing about it that's like the easiest lift? So that's just where my brain's been going with the AI and vocals lately, because after so many times showing how you used AI to make your vocals, like nobody's gonna care anymore, you know?
Also,
and
I'd
not saying that
offer-
this person used them.
I'd offer who's the artist, right? So if you're like one of these guys or someone who's already like moving in that direction or has been in that direction, it's you know, almost fine from a sonic point of view. But if you're someone who's rooted in authenticity, like Timbaland, for instance, and then who's just started randomly putting out a bunch of AI songs, like releasing them, I mean, he got torched pretty hard on social media.
That was strange.
You know, because
it's
he's
the
like
whole-
rooted in this place, and then all of a sudden it's just like I don't care about all these artists that I've worked for years. That was the perception. I don't know
Right.
if that's maybe not
Well,
true.
it's the whole argument
But that's
of
what it feels like.
having it be a tool versus having it be the whole kit and caboodle. You
Right.
know,
And then
yeah,
that's the
I use it.
actual release.
Yeah, yep. I use AI too. I'm just thinking about, like, they call it, like, I think it's the dead internet theory, where like the internet basically eats itself once everything is AI. It's like, what are you going to do with that? Right. So just unrelated to this track, but just something that I've been thinking about lately.
Yeah, that's great.
No,
Good
great
angle.
points.
Yep. Yeah, we did the bells. We're good. Once again, that's Ex Multi, and that's called What You Think. Up next, Radio Dave. Radio Dave, and this is called Pickup, and this is Dope or Nope.
Why can't you just pick up your phone? You know I hate to sleep alone. Why can't you just pick up your phone? You know I hate to sleep alone. Why can't you just pick up your phone? You know I hate to sleep alone. Hey, right now, I found you. Why can't you just pick up your phone? Why can't you just pick up your phone? You know I hate to sleep
He's officially lost his mind.
Yeah,
Why can't you just
100%.
pick up your phone?
I'm going to move this up a little bit. Right about here.
Why can't you just pick up your phone?
That is Radio Dave with Pickup right here on Dope or Nope.
Dave, like, I don't know what's going on up there in Canada. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's wild times.
I feel like he was working out and maybe he just dropped something right around here. I'm not sure.
As always, the juxtaposition of your builds to drops is always interesting. He said tariffs. I will say there's a little counter melody that happens in the post drop that's like part of your drop, but it's separate. Because after you get out of the like super aggressive synth, there's like a the da 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 that was really cool, but it got buried by a bunch of other stuff going on.
Well, that
I'll be
wasn't that
honest-
kind of happening behind the vocal though too a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
like
like that.
that was like riffy and catchy, so I feel like there's more
Yeah.
you can play off with that. I would try to find the middle ground of where your builds and drop sits, because sometimes the idea
so
of them being
polite.
disconnected is okay, but in this instance, I don't know that it works as well as we would hope that it would.
Yeah. Although it wasn't a surprise because it's Dave, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
So Dave
I'm
has
gonna
a
throw this
history?
over to Olivia.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
got a history. Yeah.
Listen, I respect creative, bold choices. I do. I think we have too much of the same nowadays. So I have respect. I think there's some layers that you can peel back, maybe. Just what Nick said. But like, I actually don't hate it because I just respect bold choices. But if you want that to be played by other artists, I think you need to do what Nick told you to do.
Yeah. Wow, that's so polite. All
I-
of that's polite, Dave. You're so lucky.
Yeah,
I would have said something like "Stop snorting C4." And maybe.
This is something where I want to know, but I get you said Dave has history. I want to know the inspo behind that choice.
So Dave is
Yeah.
actually like, if you go look him up, he's gym rat. He's jacked out of his mind.
I see that.
And is a trainer.
Just take a
And
bunch of
you should just go scrub his profile. He's a fascinating character.
That's
Absolutely.
great. I love that.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem with bringing me onto something like this. I would spend hours like peeling back all the layers
There's a
of the
lot of
onion
rabbit
of
holes.
each person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a rabbit hole person.
It's a very big
Here's
onion.
a question for you, because I think it plagues a lot of creators, mainly musicians and artists, who feel like they love making music. They know they have to market their music in order for people to hear it, but the lift and the arduous task of social media is just, and coming up with content is like, it makes them want to jump out a window, and it makes it not
Come on.
enjoyable.
It's a lot. I live
Yeah,
with a
no,
creator.
totally. So what?
I mean-
how do you navigate that with artists who I'm sure bring that same topic to you and say like, I can't figure out what to do. Plus, like, I don't really want to do any of this stuff, even though they know they have to.
Well, I just spoke to an artist who I might be working with who got the advice from a previous management company to post for 30 days and straight. And his engagement tanked. It's like literally in the toilet. It's awful. He archived all of it. Now his Instagram's in a terrible place. And like, that's the number. Like, I always hear people getting that advice, like post for 30 days, just like, challenge yourself to do it. And I think that's good from a mental perspective, but maybe like don't actually post it. Just create something for 30 days to get in the habit. Before you post anything, especially if you're at the beginning of your career or you're making a transition, figure out what your brand is first, because then that's the well you draw from for content ideas. So figure out who your core audience is or your ideal audience. And this is like the easiest exercise. So let's say you want your ideal audience to be, women in the 25 to 45 who are into health and wellness. Okay, let's just say, and you make like progressive house that's like easily digestible for them and their friends to go out. They like nice dinners. They like cocktails with friends. They go to parties on the weekends. Once you start digging into your like psychographics of your ideal audience and all the other things they do, that's when you get to make context. It's like, oh wait, these people love to go, they love to go out for girl dinners and have little appetizers and drinks. What content can I make where I'm inserting my music into that scenario?
Right.
That's just one example. What if your psychographics are gym rats? Lots of different ways you can insert your music into that scenario. So you got to figure out your brand and who your ideal audience is first. So many people don't do those exercises, and then that's why they just try to post like viral slop and throw shit at the wall and see, just see what sticks. And it's just pointless and it burns you out and you end up hating social media. Once you figure those other things out, you might not love it, but it'll be a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Great advice.
Some more great free advice, guys. Because social media is, because if you've ever searched that question, all you're going to get is every, content person talking about, and I did this in like 3 easy steps and I posted every 30,
It's garbage.
if it's not authentic, what are you doing? Right? Well, like, I think the hard part for people, and I see this because my wife is is a Instagram. She's been there for quite some time, before it was even like a thing, on the influencer side, and now as a public speaker and walking through a lot of the things she does and talking about wellness and health and gratitude. It has to be so aligned. You know, I see our account like every year as she kind of like streamlined it, and she posts every day. But like it's very authentic and very streamlined and always aligned with her gratitude, with her work. She's on QVC. She does public speaking. She talks about brands. So it's always like a mix of similar stuff. And she spends hours at night putting together a post for the next day.
Yeah, and that's her thing. So, and I understand as an artist that has to just be one thing in the millions of things that you have to do. But yeah, if you streamline it, like you said, and just really like figure out who your audience is, and then speak directly to them and do that over and over. Yeah, like they'll tell you what they want to see from you. Yeah. Right? Like that's the other thing. They'll tell you. My audience asks me questions all the time. We'll cover this. Yeah. Why don't you talk about that? I'm like, okay, great. I will.
I love
sometimes they won't tell you, and that's also an answer.
Yeah, exactly.
They won't say a word.
For sure. Yeah, crowdsourcing is the best way.
All right, so I have 3 more before I got to jump. So first one is by Arland, and this is called The Underground. Wow, that's super loud. Hold on, let's try that again. This is Arland with The Underground on Dope or Nope.
What goes around, goes around. What goes around, goes around. What goes around. You can't mess with the underground. What goes around, comes around. You can't test the underground. What goes around, comes around.
I know we gotta blitz these for you.
Goes around. What goes around?
That is Arland, A-R-L-I-N-D, The Underground. Always, always, always delivering this guy. So good. Bell for me, please.
Where was my bells? I keep losing, bro. All right. Oh,
yes. There we go.
All right.
Full bell. Yeah.
Full bell.
I love it. I think it's, there's probably some technical stuff in there. It's 2:33 in length, which is, perfect for what we're doing, but probably something longer, obviously, for use in where I think it would live more often is the club. Yeah, just really great stuff, as always. Olivia, what are you thinking on this?
No notes. No, I love this. This is right up my alley.
Super fun.
I feel like he always does a good job of making records that could have been played 10 years ago or 10 years from now, and like they just work. The only thing I would suggest is to play with the synth a little bit. It gets a little repetitive. You could play with the decay on like the length of the notes and maybe opening and closing the cutoff a little bit, just so it like evolves and changes during the drop. But otherwise, super dope.
Super cool. All right, up next, this is Alex Lemirage, and this is called Edge of the World. Oh, hold on. This is Dropbox, which is always...
Olivia, I've been working magic in the background. I got a cool intro coming for you right now.
Okay.
For Nexus.
Love it.
It's been way too long. I feel I'm running out of time. Help me, 'cause I don't
so beautiful.
and I don't know when to let
I think we need to listen to that a lot more later. But in the meantime, that's Alex Lemirage, End of the World. I have zero notes other than a bell, please.
Another bell.
Yeah,
Back to backs.
that's beautiful.
What-
I mean, I would
what's-
literally hand that to Armin and just say, have fun.
What's this artist's Instagram handle?
I think it's, did he put it down? Yeah, it's just Alex, ALEXLEMIRAGE.
IRAGE. Got it. Wow.
Yeah.
Super dope. I'm gonna give this one a bell too.
Beauty.
This is I remember the first time I heard "You've Done Enough" by Gorgon City and Drama. If you know that
Yeah.
track, and this gives me that same feeling of just like being captivated by the vocals and the lyrics. It's incredible.
So good. So good. This guy's had a few, I think, who looks after him? Oh, yeah, Pete over at Keel. He's had some really good shots over there. A couple of releases that have done extremely well on social media and DSPs. But yeah, Alex, thanks for sending that out, man. Appreciate it. Nick, what's your vibe?
I love it. I think super cool use of the vocal as like the drop sound. Obviously it has that little like counterpoint synth melody that plays off of it. But
Yeah.
I love it. It's really interesting that the mix having so much spaces in it is nice too, because I could just hear this in like a massive venue or a festival and it would
you imagine?
soar.
On the
Yeah,
big
it just would
boxes?
it would crush.
Yeah.
I would just it would encourage anybody listening to explore, more space in your mixes, and less is more, especially when you get into those big systems. This type of sound really shines. It allows like the sub bass and the kick to really breathe in the low end without getting clogged up by other sounds. And I love it. No notes.
Nice. That's big, especially from Nick.
A lot of opinions. I got a lot of opinions, guys.
Right. Sean Magda, and this is called ID. I don't know. It's 4.
This will be our
This is
last
Dope or
one,
Nope.
right?
Huh?
Last one.
Yeah. I think I can squeeze one more in. I just started the car and opened the garage door, so I'm ready to go.
Oh my God, modern
Power of
technology.
remotes.
I'm set, man. I'm not messing around. That's Sean Magda with ID. Nick, what are you thinking?
I love it. Throwback EDM vibes with that lead.
Yeah.
The energy is awesome. I would encourage you, unless you're gonna like really lean into that like throwback sound, I'd encourage you to try some sounds that are a bit fresher and forward thinking, unless you want it to be an EDM thing like from back in the day, which there's a place for. So
Yeah,
it's really your
still
call on
is.
that. Yeah. I mean, that
Still
stuff.
is.
What's crazy is like when we play out and we get into stuff like that, it still works like a fucking charm.
Yeah,
People
Totally.
love it. It goes
because
off.
those people just got older. They didn't die.
That's true.
We're still in the
You know?
scene. Hello. I mean, I got into the scene officially in like I think 2008 when I was first able to sneak out and start going to shows. So yeah, I love the throwback vibes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so
you know from
nostalgic.
going to shows and stuff like
Yeah.
the house like chill or like just vibey house stuff works. But then if you have the right audience and you kind of segue into this shit, people just go nuts.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like it, but I agree with you. Like, is that what it is, or are you just like kind of laying out a structure for something? And that's with expectations of like if you're going to go with the EDM sound, own it all the way. Like I think then pour it all in, right? Like don't just sit on the surface of that because it's either all that or it's not that. I don't think there's a place necessarily where those things live sort of half, right? You can't be like today's thing with a little EDM. I think you're either today's thing or the new projection of what EDM is, or you're doing that thing and you're just smashing people over the head, which is totally fine either way, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I have heard. I'm trying to point to a reference, but I don't have one. So to back up my point, I don't have anything to cite. But I think there is a way to marry them, but it's really difficult. And I've only heard a few select people successfully do it. Otherwise,
Right.
You're right. You got to commit.
Also coming like obviously, I mean, I'm in my 30s. I know like we're all older than a lot of people who are coming into the scene now. I saw a video circulating of I think it was Deadmau5 playing Sophie Needs a Ladder, or somebody was at some festival recently, and everyone's like, this is the best song I ever heard. Oh my God. Like not realizing how old it was. So like that sound is fresh to people who have never experienced it before for the first time, like we
Right.
did.
Right.
Totally.
Which is mind-blowing.
All right, I'm gonna bang this
It
one
is.
last one out, and then I definitely got a jet. This is
All
Remnez with "Give You My Love." Dope or no?
Low lights, we run into the night.
Finally hit the post. Jeez.
Got me cold when you're touching my skin, like I'm frozen, shivering. Hear your voice in my head when I spin. Oh, you know it. I'll give you my love. Give you my love. When you need a rush, I'll give you my love. I'll give you my love. Give you my love. When you need a rush, I'll give you my love. I'll give you my love.
That's Remnez with "Give You My Love."
All right, over
guys,
to Olivia.
I'm gonna
You
jet.
first.
I'm gonna leave this low.
Yep.
Olivia, thank you so much for
Thanks,
your
Tess.
time. I'd like to do this more often. If you want to join us anytime, your perspective
appreciate
is really
that.
interesting and different from all the other people that we have on regularly. Nick,
Thank you.
we'll talk later. You
Yes, sir.
guys,
Drive
don't
safe.
forget to hug someone you love. It's never too late to tell them how you feel. I'm out.
All right, man. Thank you. Now I'm going to remove you. Oh, no. If I remove him, I lose the sound. I forgot.
fine.
All right. So now
You
you guys get
first.
to look at a blank screen. This is kind of falls in the same bucket as the last record in a way, right? It's got that throwback EDM sound to it. But I love, like when I first heard that melodic, plucky, like piano melody, super strong. I feel like you can almost dial back some of this production so it's not as over the top per se. And I think this will be just as strong of a record. Another angle I'm curious about is if you did this as more of like a not speed house, but you did speed it up a little bit, and you brought the energy that way, how this would sit. But yeah, super strong vocal. I got a little tired of the vocal punchline. I don't know if this one's AI or it's a sample pack, but I would encourage you, if it's AI, to maybe get some variations on the hook. But yeah, otherwise, I feel like it's maybe 70 to 75% there. But with dialing in some of this stuff, you can get all the way pretty easily, knowing what I know of your records. Yeah, please keep us posted on this one.
I thought it was great. My feedback was that the vocals, that how she sounded was captivating, but it was a little bit repetitive too. So it didn't captivate me like the previous track, because there was just more variety in the lyrics.
Yeah, no, agreed. Rimnez is super dope, by the way. He's another one to look out for. A lot of the people who watch our show are up and coming artists. So before you leave today, I guess, what is your, if you had to give them, a paragraph worth of advice besides what you've already shared with us, is there anything in particular? It doesn't have to be a 12-sentence paragraph.
That's okay.
A couple bullet points are fine.
Sure, I'll be concise. Let's see. I just said this on a panel last weekend. A tangible thing that you can do to help move your career forward, and this applies to any stage, is read this book called Smart Cuts. I've been pushing this book on anyone and everyone since like 2017, when I made my first career switch from being a TV journalist to a marketer. And what this book talks about is it gives you stories of how you can take what you're doing in your life currently and apply that knowledge to a new venture, rather than having to start from the bottom of that venture and work your way up. So it's a smart cut, right? You're like ladder hacking. Instead of having to go down this ladder and up this one, you're hopping across. And so there's so many parallels that you can draw if you have a day job, or even if you're like whatever you're doing on the side to support your music endeavors. It's a super easy read. It's really interesting because it's like in the format of stories. So like there's a story about how these heart surgeons learned how to do this very delicate heart surgery faster by spending a month with a NASCAR or a Formula One pit crew and learning how they change out like all the gears and tires or whatever. So I love learning that way through stories. Like I'm really big on that. And everybody I recommend this book to, artist, anybody, they're like, oh my God, like that was like, that unlocked so many things in my brain. And so I feel like that's just like the easiest, quickest suggestion I could give anybody, is to read or listen to that book, because it changed my life. It's how going from TV reporter to marketer was very hard. Nobody wanted to hire someone who had 0 years of marketing experience, right? Unless they were going to make me like intern level. But using the principles of that book, I was able to tailor my resume and my pitch. And then I was able to do it again, being an entrepreneur. And I've used it to help get myself into different situations in the music industry. So
love that.
Yeah. Read that book.
Name that book one more time.
Smart Cuts by Shane Snow.
Smart Cuts by Shane Snow. It actually reminds me a lot of, I just recently read Hell Yeah or No by Derek Sievers. And I'm not a reader. I'm an audiobook guy, but I was just like, I'm going to read it's a really relatively quick read. Derek he's the founder of CD Baby, and a whole bunch of other cool companies and stuff, which I had no idea about. I actually didn't even know he owned CD Baby. I picked the book off my shelf. Like somebody had given it to me at some point, and I was like, all right, this title looks interesting. I'll read it. It's called Hell Yeah or No. And it's essentially a bunch of stories about things he encountered in his life where he was either like no, straight up no, or hell yeah, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do it like to the point of like the end of the earth to maximize the opportunity. And then at the end of that, I might say no, like it's not for me, but I have to fully explore it. And there's a lot of cool mental modes in there that he explores that are interesting and relate to what you were just saying. which also recently like came across this idea of the power of cloning. So like taking there's like always that theory, like there's no original idea. Every idea is based on an idea that came before it. So like if an idea, just because you have a new idea doesn't mean it didn't exist before, but maybe if you have a new idea, try to find out if it was done before and what they did right and what was wrong about it, and then optimize based on that. Which that whole concept was really how we came up with Finish My Track. Like when we started doing that, it was like, oh no, we do this already. Let's just like optimize it and do it in a refined way. But I feel like in general, we've found that to be, and I've found that personally to be like really powerful in my career. Like you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just make the wheel better. You know?
Right. I think so many people are like, oh, it's already been done before. And it's like, well, first of all, that's market validation. That means people want the thing, right? Because that's the hardest thing, is trying to create someone. If you truly find something, you create something that no one's ever done before, maybe it's because nobody wanted it. Right. So like, you got to kind of think that way. But yeah, just like, you don't need to reinvent the wheel, just do it slightly better. That's why I travel around going to all these music business conferences. I like lurk in the background because I'm like, all right, what are they doing? You know, but I ask questions too. And I want to see what they're doing so we can make our conference better. Like, I'm very open about that. Like I literally go around and do market research on other conferences so I can crush them.
Well, Chicago Nexus, when is the date?
Chicago Music Nexus is November 22nd. We have a pre-party November 21st. We're doing Pioneer Alpha Theta gear giveaways. We have demo feedback with Propa, Terry Hunter, Kai William, and Sherm.
You guys still talking?
He's back. Yeah. We're doing a press pick station. We have Hess. I think you know PD Mack. He's a publicist. He's helping people with your pitch. So, you know, if you want to pitch yourself to a label, he's going to help you write the email to do it. Yeah.
AKA he's going to delete like 90% of the text artists send.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what he's there for. So
hell yeah. That's awesome.
November 22nd.
November 22nd. Right. I think we should go, Nick. Are you going?
Yeah, you're both invited.
I would love to be there. I'm tied up that weekend, but I'm going to be there in spirit. And I also I just made an awesome intro for you on email of somebody that I think.
Thank you.
Hess, I just introduced Olivia to Neurotic from Kiss FM in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Who I think would be an awesome fit to be
That's
part of it.
That's your name. I interned there decades ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I told him he needs to shout it out on the radio, and he will,
thank you,
because he's nice.
I love that.
Appreciate
That's a great idea.
Well, Hess, if you're free, we'd love to have you as our guest.
Let me see what November 22nd. Man,
now I'm going to have so much FOMO.
That's a Saturday.
It's fully catered. It's open bar. Like, it's a really good time. There's
that sounds amazing.
Fully catered. Hess is there. Like, he needs.
Yeah.
He needs fuel
don't need
for
a
the
bar,
gym.
but food I like.
All right, I'll send you the details then.
Yeah, that'd be great. I have one thing that's I'm just looking at the calendar. My 10-year-old's in robotics, and it's this year. This is the 4th year for him, so it's quite serious at this point.
Oh, it's a competition thing. Those are fun.
Like he's over at Westchester University right now. He got they're having a whole. There's so many parts to it. That building is only one part, and then they're talking about initiative, coding, and he's like a super nerd. So maybe I think there's some sort of scrimmage happening that day, but we'll see.
Is he building your knee replacement, your future knee replacement?
Dude, if only that were so easy. If that could be the thing, right? That would be like. Okay.
This is all just like you're setting him up to build your body.
Totally. I'll take the AI knee, please. I'd like to go faster.
I love that.
Yeah. So, but if I'm not in person, if there's anything I can do to help promote it, please. And
likewise.
Feel free
Thank
to
you.
ask me for
Thanks,
any
guys.
artists or anything like that. I know a lot of people who live in the area. Another cool person that I think is spending quite a bit of time in Chicago lately is a good friend of mine, Jess Weber from Cosign. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
I haven't met her, but familiar with the name.
Yeah, so she runs a company called Cosign, which is a a really fantastic company that does AAA, non-com radio, a ton of marketing, underground artists. I'm working a Parcels record with her. I've done Namina with her in the past. So just really, and a terribly fun person, originally from Brooklyn. So
Love
maybe
it.
there's some sort of plug in there. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we can talk.
And again, thank you so much for joining us. Great perspective. I hope everyone enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks for dealing
Yeah.
with my, I'm a Luddite when it comes to technology and understanding these things, but I really enjoyed every single demo that you played. I loved them all.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much for
Cool.
coming on. Big shout out
Thanks,
to
guys.
a bunch of these guys in the chat on Instagram. Space Brother Jared from Black Caviar, Ken Loy, Breeze, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining. And of course, Spawn, Rimnez, everybody over here on Twitch. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye.
See ya.